A very good evening and warm welcome to all the participants. You are now on 129th WiseViews Leadership Conversation. Please join me in welcoming the guest. We have Mr. Anil Bhasin already joined us. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this conversation.
Thank you.
I will do a quick introduction and then hand it over back to you for your opening remarks. Kindly allow me to share my screen. Yeah, these are WiseViews Leadership Conversations, which we hold every Friday evenings. And we have reached 129th such conversation today. And we are very happy that we have Mr. Anil Bhasin with us. He's going to speak on growth in uncertain times from individual to institutional. And this will last for an hour, where we have this introduction and opening remarks for the first 20-25 minutes, followed by 40 minutes of Q&A. Let me take this opportunity to introduce the speaker, Mr. Bhasin. And Mr. Bhasin is a distinguished professional with over 38 years of comprehensive experience in business development, sales, marketing, and project management. His remarkable journey includes key roles at industry-leading organizations, most notably as the president of Havells India Limited, where he played a pivotal role in catapulting revenue from 72 crores in 2005 to an impressive 1,200 crores in 2019, boasting a remarkable compounded annual growth rate, CAGR, of 22%. As the driving force behind a team of 700 plus professionals, Mr. Bhasin significantly contributed to corporate policy decisions as a member of the Executive Council and played a crucial role in steering the company towards groundbreaking achievements. Under his visionary leadership, Havells became the first Indian company to establish a plant for lighting fixtures in Imrana and successfully launched the solar business in 2016. His strategic initiatives also encompassed the overhaul of rural distribution strategies, the conceptualization of a new distribution model for enhanced rural coverage, and the establishment of world-class research and development centers in Delhi and Bangalore. Mr. Bhasin's career highlights also include a pivotal role as general manager at Singer India Limited, where he orchestrated the setup of an all-India distribution network and a dedicated sales team for small appliances. Additionally, his tenure at Bajaj Electricals Limited saw him handle various product categories, earning him a regular place in the 100% Achievers Club for over a decade. Mr. Bhasin is not only a seasoned business professional, but also is a motivational speaker and storyteller, leveraging his extensive experience to address audiences in top business schools and industry forums. His commitment to excellence is further evident in his active participation in international conferences, live keynote addresses, webinars, and guest lectures. He is renowned for his exemplary leadership and strategic acumen. Mr. Bhasin has garnered several prestigious awards throughout his illustrious career, including the Peter Drucker Memorial Award of Excellence by the International Chamber of Professional Education and Industry. His education background includes a PG in Sales and Marketing from YMCA in 1988 and a Master's in Public Administration from the University of Rajasthan. Mr. Bhasin stands as a beacon of leadership and innovation in the field, exemplifying a commitment to excellence and continuous growth. Thank you very much, sir, for agreeing to speak with us. Once again, welcome to this leadership conversation. I will take one more moment to introduce my esteemed panelist, my senior colleague, Professor R. Prasad, who is a senior director in the academic wing at ICFAI Group. He brings with himself a rich 3 decades of experience as an entrepreneur, as a corporate professional, and now as an academic at ICFAI. He holds BTech from IIT Mumbai and PGDM from IIM Kolkata. He has published articles, books, and presented papers in conferences in India and abroad. Welcome, Professor Prasad, and I will now stop sharing the screen. Sir, we are all set and we would love to learn from you and go through the 4 decades of experience that has so many accomplishments and help us understand how do we navigate these uncertain times through thick and thin and how we build our careers. Over to you, sir. Once again, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sudhakar and Mr. Prasad. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with your colleagues, students, and the industry fraternity. And let me tell you about ABC of human happy fulfillment life. Because when you buy any equipment, it comes with an instruction manual. Whether you buy a TV, refrigerator, washing machine, or a mobile, there is an instruction manual how to use it, how to handle it. But for a human life, there is no instruction manual. You have to learn the life through your own experiences and the other person experiences. And that is why I keep on sharing my thoughts with the people, those who want to take the advantage of my experience. And I will start with A, B, C of human life. And A stands for attitude. Most of the people, they have the ability and the talent similar when they go to any professional life or any business. But the things which make the difference is the attitude. And people get confused with attitude, that positive attitude guarantee you for any success. And let me tell you, the meaning of attitude is flow of thought at any point of time in your mind. I strongly believe that you should have a positive attitude. Positive attitude does not guarantee you for any success. Positive attitude does not guarantee you for any success. Positive attitude with proper action increases the probability of success, does not guarantee you for any success. So these are two very important words, proper action. Unless we take any action, nothing is going to make any difference into it and all. The people, those who take actions, are the people, those who are successful. Every person have a desire to get the things done. Success does not come by reading or memorizing the books that lead to, or principles that lead to success. It only comes by implementing those on your daily life. Those people, those who have been successful, have been implementing those principles in their daily life. Otherwise, there are thousands of books on motivation, on success, you can't do it and all. Like if you want to do a swimming, or if you want to do a cooking, or if you want to do a cycling, you will have to practically do it. I am a left-hander, I can't write it with right hand because I have not been using my right hand. And one of the Hindi poet have written very good 4 lines. They says, ख्वाहिशों से नहीं खिलते फूल झोली में, वक्त की शाखाओं को हिलाना होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा अंधेरों को बुरा कहने से, अपने हिस्से का दीपक खुद ही जलाना होगा. So you will have to do the things yourself rather than, everyone has got a desire to get the things done. But unless you get the things done, nothing is going to happen. So along with the proper attitude, the proper action also is very, very important. There are 140 crores of Indian population. But if you see the Olympics, we can't, we have only taken 35 medals in the last 125 years history, which means that we don't do the things in a proper way. So one piece of advice is that with the positive attitude, you should have a proper action. Unless you act, nothing is going to happen. The second word is acceptance. We have to accept the things that as it is. Let me tell you, you can't change the height of your body, you can't change the color of your skin, you can't change the features of your things. The things which have been given to you, you will have to accept it. Amitabh Bachchan is 6 feet, the other, all 3 Khans are 5 feet, 5.5 inches. They can't increase their height by even 1 millimeter. So we have to accept the things which have been given to us. You see, the COVID came and COVID has gone. We never wanted COVID, but we have accepted. Those people, those who have handled the acceptance in a right way, have things. The life will have all the time imperfection. You can't get a perfect life. I will narrate a small story over here, that there were 3 students in the school, those who wanted the school not to be operated the next day. And they caught 3 goats. And on the 3 goats, they mentioned, on the first goat, they painted number 1. On the second goat, they painted number 2. And on the third goat, they painted as number 4. When they painted 1, 2, and 4, they kept the 3 goats into the school in the evening. And the next day, within 1 hour, the housekeeping of the school caught hold of all the 3 goats. But the entire day, the school was not operative. The reason of non-operation of the school was that they all were looking for goat number 3. So the moral of this small story is that in life, we always look at goat number 3. So there is never a goat number 3. And there is a serenity prayer, which is a very old prayer, or a prayer that they says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things which I cannot change. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things which I cannot change, and courage to change the things which I can, and wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. As I have already told you, you can't change the height of your body. Your body has grown. It takes almost 25 years for a body to grow. And after 25 years, your mind grows, your body doesn't grow. And it is the human being who has got one additional feature, that ability to think. Human being is is not that incompetent, or they don't have the resources to handle the other things the way the animals have. But one added advantage with the human being is that ability to think and can reinvent his things. I have written a book also. I am the author, and I have written the book on the topic called as Reset Your Life. In my 40 year of professional experience, I have seen that, or in the personal experience, I have seen that every 5 years you can reset your life. You can reinvent your life. You have to evolve yourself and then lead. So you have to see to it that you have to reinvent your life. You can reset your life. You have to evolve yourself, and then you have to lead by the leadership kind of a thing. So the second thing which I have told you is basically the acceptance. And the third A, which is very, very important, is the adaptation. The Darwin theory is relevant today also, that it is not the strongest of the species that survive today, nor the most intelligent one. The species that survive today are the species those who are adaptive to change or responsive to change. So we should see to it that we have to change. And one thing which is favorite to me is that whenever I go for the MBA induction program, I usually ask them what is the full form of MBA, and they say it is Master of Business Administration. And I tell them that after doing your MBA, you are not going to administer anything, because this word administration has been taken, in my view, has been taken from IAS, Indian Administrative Services. After doing your MBA, you have to go and adapt yourself in the industry you have to go. So in my view, the full form of the MBA should be Master of Business Adaptation, not administration, because they are not going to become a deputy commissioner or a police commissioner, that they will be doing administrative job. And in the professional career also, administration is being taken care by somebody else, not the MBA. So adaptation has to be there, and people will go to different industries, different thing. And people do ask me that what has been the mantra of your success, or any business leader. Let me tell you, there is never a income gap in the organization. There is always a skill gap. After doing your MBA or after going in any professional, it is only the skill. In the sports also, you see that whether it is Kohli or whether it is Sachin or whether it is Rohit Sharma or any other player and all, we have seen the skill of the Australian players, that they have snatched the World Cup from us. And in the last match also, the cricketer has scored more than 100 runs. So it is the skill which makes the difference. So when you are going to adapt the things and all, you have to see to it that the skill gap is always there. Qualification is not enough. Qualification will lead you to a kind of employment, but after employment, you will have to lead the things and all. And let me tell you, my own qualification is, I done BSc with 58% marks in 1980. And I started my career from 1980, and I superannuated in 2020. In my 40 year of experience, after doing my BSc, I have attained this height by only acquiring few skills, which was the people skill, communication skill, kind of a thing, that I was a people man. So I was not an engineering graduate, but in Bajaj also or in Havells also, I have handled the electrical businesses for the overall business kind of a thing. So along with the attitude, you have to have you have to accept the things and all. It doesn't matter what you have. What you do with what you have, what it makes a difference. Somebody asked Madhuri Dixit that you are very beautiful. So she said there are many beautiful ladies other than me also. Being a beautiful is the credit goes to my parent. But what I do with this beautiful body, it all matters and all. So it doesn't matter what you have. What it matters is what you do with what you have. So we have to accept the things, we have to adapt the things and all. So these three A are very important. And the alphabet B stand for belief. You have to have a self-belief in yourself. Most of the people, what I say, that when they don't reach to the height, is basically the confidence. They don't have a belief in themselves. So in my view, the self-belief has to be there. You have to have a mentor, guide, advisor, coach, or a person who believes in you. I read the example of Rahul Dravid, that when he was playing under 15, his father never wanted him to play because he was not confident whether he will be successful or not. He went to the school. The father Quillo said, no, he will go to, he will play under 15. I'll take care of his studies. So Rahul Dravid said that my father didn't believe in me that I'll be a good player, but my principal believed that yes, he is good in cricket and he will play the cricket. So at times you have to have an anchor, some mentor, whether it is your brother, sister, father, mother, your friend, your uncle, anybody who should have an anchor of faith in you that you can do it in a right way. There are many examples of even Michael Jordan, who was a good basketballer. He also believed in himself. He belonged to a very poor family. There are many good examples of the sports player that who believed in themselves and got the things other than that and all. And the other B, which is there, is behavior. This is very, very important. You get respect because of two things. One is your position, the other is your behavior. The first one is temporary, the second one is permanent. I have superannuated for the last 3 years. The kind of respect what I get at this point of time is because of my behavior, because the position has already been is not with me. So one advice to all of you is that there is always, people are hired for their skills in the organization, but they are fired for their behavior. If you are not a good team player, if you are not a good leader, you will be fired from the organization. I have seen in my professional career that there were many IIT and IIM graduates, those who came in our organization, but they were not able to sustain because they always have an ego with them that they are IIT IIM. So that IIT IIM tag, or any professional tag if you have, should not be taken for a longer period of time. It is only when you join an organization. There are many examples of the country wherein the leaders are not IIT IIMs or even from the ordinary colleges like your college. So I strongly believe that you are hired for your skills, but you are fired for your behavior. And behavior, basically, any behavior which is appreciated, rewarded, will get repeated. If you appreciate a wrong behavior, let me give you an example. If the phone calls come to your house and your son asks you that there is a call for you, and you tell your son that you tell your papa is not there, so he first time he'll get a beating, but next time when he says automatically that I have told the uncle that the father is not there, you will appreciate him, you will reward him, say yes, you are a very good guy. So he will then start repeating the things in when he grows up, when he start boozing, when he start taking drugs, when he start smoking. He'll be a habitual kind of person who will repeat the wrong things with him. And the third B is basically balance. I give example. I normally give stories and example in my lecture so that people get relate to it. When you were in school, you had a spoon and lemon and spoon race, or lemon and a marble race. In the race, the person who wins the race is not the person who runs fast. The person who wins the race is the person whose lemon is balanced in a spoon till the race is end. So I give the advice to most of the students that for chasing your professional and academic goals, never compromise on three things. Very important. First is your health. Second is your family. Third is relationship. So these are the marbles or the lemon in your spoon. So health is very, very important. In life, there is not a rewind button that you can rewind after 10 years or 15 years and you can say, no, now I will improve my health. So every day you have to invest in your health. You have to invest in your family, because the family who has taken, sacrificed their life to make you grow at this point of time, should be taken care of, whether it is parents, whether it's your siblings, whether it is your, and third thing is relationship. In the professional career also, let me just tell you, relationship counts a lot. When you are in a business fraternity, the mantra for the business fraternity success is basically two words: trust and relationship. You should be trustworthy. You should not be the best or the expert, but you should be the trustworthy, and you should be a person who have the relationship. The person who is doing business with you will always look at it whether you are trustworthy or not. And second thing, whether you are looking for a small short-term relationship or a long-term relationship. So B, I will only cover the C only in the next 5 minutes, and then I'll keep the session open for the question answer session and all. C stands for change. You see, you can change at any point of time. Mahatma Gandhi was in South Africa till the age of 45. The day he realized that no, he was thrown out of the platform, day he realized that he has to change himself. There are many examples. Mother Teresa was a school teacher. She was not even competent enough to become a principal of that school, but she is known for the change what he has done. So for change, I think people don't want to leave their comfort zone. People don't resist change. They resist being changed. Whenever you talk about the change, if you talk about the doing a brush 2 times a day, everyone knows that doing a brush 2 times a day is very important. But there are few people, those who do the 2 times brush in the night also, because people don't change their habits. In the morning, you do the brush because it is compulsory for you to get the breakfast without doing it, because the mother will only ask you question whether you have done the brush or not. She will not ask any other question whether you have taken a bath or kind of thing. So changes are very, very important, whether for taking of your health, whether you have to go for the morning walk, whether you have to do a regular exercise. These are all difficult things to do at times. And the difference between winners and losers is only one thing, that winner make a habit of doing the things, and loser don't want make a habit. And good habits are difficult to come and easy to live with, but bad habits are easy to come and difficult to live with. So one has to change. And the other C is communication. I have told you that my success point was only 2 things. One is the people management. I am not an engineering graduate, but I have run the company. Dhirubhai Ambani was not an engineer. My company, Havells India Limited, the founder chairman was not an engineer, but he had made the company, and today the worth of the company is close to around 70,000 crores. We'll be doing a turnover of 20,000 crores this year. So communication is very, very important. So, and one myth which I want to break is that English is a language and communication is a learnable skill. You should not think that if you are good in English. Let me tell you, Indira Nooyi, when she went to US in Yale University, in the first year, she failed in communication because she used to speak fast English. I don't know what South Indian eats. They are so fast in English that it is very difficult for the North Indian to even understand what they are speaking. So the lesson which Indira Nooyi learned when she went to US is that you should speak a little slowly, because it is not the speed of the English in which you are going to, or any language in which you are going to communicate. I at times quote the example of Arnab Goswami, who is an anchor in English speaking, and he speaks so fast that some people would like to understand the kind of things and all. And the tone also matters into the things and all. It doesn't matter what you speak. It matters the tone in which you are going to speak, whether it is house or whether in the office. And the last word which I will say is connect. If you have to convey any message, if you have to convince anyone, you have to convey the message, whether it is oral, verbal, message, whether it is email or any communication, WhatsApp and all. Unless you have connect with the people, you will not be able to convey the message or convince the thing. So my advice to all of you is that people are all simple. It is how you connect with the people. If you ask simple question that if you raise 3 fingers, if you think for a color, or if you think for a color flower, or if you think of an object in the classroom, most of the people will raise their these 3 fingers. Most of the people will say red color. Most of the people will say rose. Most of the people will say table or chair. So people are all similar, whether you are in India or whether you are in US and all. So I have this alphabet going up to I or F, but looking at the paucity of the time and all, I will stop here, and I will request the Sudhakar ji or Prasad ji to ask question for the audience according to their choice.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you have taken up exactly 20 minutes. That's so nice. The other thing is, what you have mentioned just now is very simple, in the sense that we can relate to it. Everyone's life and work would have these elements coming up, and therefore it has got a relatability, and one can always evaluate how one has done across these parameters over the last, say, several years of their work. Majority of the people who have joined here are working professionals. They come from variety of domains. The people who have joined today hail from education, technology, some of them from your industry. And there are people coming from different cities. bigger cities and smaller cities as well. We welcome all of them. But this is a template which you have distilled from your rich experience over 4 decades and simplified for us in terms of ABCs. Very easy to remember as well and connect. More importantly, the examples that you have given helped us completely consume it so easily. Thank you so much, sir. I think what is etched in my mind is the fact that at every stage we have to be open, whether it is work or life, and keep handling this with a very, very important mantra, that is, you're hired for your skills, but you'll be hired for your behavior, if that is a bad behavior or if the behavior is found wanting in something. I'm sure these things will be relatable to a lot of us, and we will now begin the Q&A. The format is like this. We'll have 2 clusters of questions. The first cluster will be taken up by Professor Prasad, and I will come back for the second cluster. And during the second cluster, I will request the audience to raise their hand so that we can open the mic and they can directly talk to you. But in between, we will moderate these questions, which we received at the time of registration. They keyed in their questions, and we landscape these questions so that our conversation is smooth and organically it is progressive. So that's the format. I'll now request Professor R. Prasad to come in and start cluster number 1. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Rao. Thank you, sir, for a wonderful introduction and a very simple introduction. We'll get straight down to the first question. This is about what is growth. Could you illustrate it with respect to some experiences from your life and the context that you have given?
I would start with the success rather than growth, because people get confused with the success that Anil Nightingale has described the success in 4 words. It is progressive realization of a worthy goal. Progressive means it is not a destination, it is a journey. Realization means that you have to have a self-realization that you are doing things in an ethical way. Of a worthy goal, which also means to it that things you do it in a right way. Not your conscience should allow you to get the things done, and you should have a worthy goal. Some people in the initial stages of that is why I said that every 5 years you have to reset your life. Some people say that at the age of 40, if I have 10 crores, if I become CEO, that is my success. Some people think that if I have a BMW Mercedes, that is my success. Some people say if I have got a good house, that is my success. Some people say that if I have got 2 sons, that is my success. Or success parameters are different, but I think progressive realization of a worthy goal or an ideal is should be the success. There are many people, those who are successful, but they are not happy. So success, growth, and happiness has to correlate with them, because if you are successful and if you are not happy, and that is why in my initial stages I said that you should have a balance of life, that the life is like a 6 spokes. You should have a physical, mental, spiritual, social, official, and home. All 6 spokes should be there. You should be healthy. You should be mentally fit. When I say spiritual, you should be anything ritual you're doing, you should have a right spirit of doing things. And you should be social also. Whenever you are into your social circle, you should contribute to that. In home also, you should spend time. And in the office also, you should be having a balance of time. I'll tell you our own story of growth, that when I joined the company turnover was only 429 crores with a profit of 20 crores in year 2004. This year, the company turnover would be close to around 20,000 crores with a profit of 2,000 crores. From 20 crores to 2,000 crores profit, and a turnover from 429 crores to a growth of 20,000 crores. I have been a part of that successful story. And for that growth, let me tell you, for an industry, there are 3-4 ingredients which are very, very important. First is that you should reinvest into your business, infrastructure and manufacturing. If you have, you should reinvest into it. You should diversify into the product category in which you are. Today, Havells has got more than 20 product categories, including the white goods, acquiring the brand Lloyd for air conditioner, refrigerator, washing machines, and TVs, and 20 product verticals. So you should have a diversified product range. You should invest into the brand. Today, people in the social media or through it, we would like to have a brand. You should have a brand loyalty with it. And the last fourth strong pillar for a growth basically is after sales service. One customer who is satisfied will go and tell 10 customers. But if a one dissatisfied customer is that, he will spoil your 10 customers, those who are prospective customers. So after sales service is also very, very important, because in the business, you have to acquire the first 15% of the customers. After that, these 15% of the customers will automatically do a sales promotion. They will become your brand ambassador for the balance 85% of the customers. So these four things are very, very important, that whatever you earn should be reinvested into your infrastructure and manufacturing. Second thing is that you should product diversification should be there. Reliance, when it started with Vimal. Today you see how many product category and how many diversified product category they are into it. And the third thing which I say is you have to build up a brand. You personally also, you are a brand. Whenever you go to a customer, you sell yourself first and the product comes later. So every person in the organization is a brand. Your PN also is a brand. Your receptionist also is a brand. So every person in your organization is an HR, is a brand. So it doesn't mean that only the CEO or the MD has to build up the brand. Every person in the organization is a brand.
Thank you, sir. Excellent response. Can you take a use case from your experience where much of what you've said is demonstrated, or so for the audience to understand, and is different from a book?
I'll tell you, when I joined the company was dealing with only 4 product categories: wire cables, switches, switch gears. These were the product categories. So these were all the product category which were not related to the customer as a consumer, as a household. So then in year 2004, we realized that the fans and lighting are the product category in which we should diversify. So we came up with the fans. And in the fans also, we differentiated with the fan as a decorative fans, because till that point of time, the fans which were sold below the value of 2000 rupees. And these were all simple fans with 3 blades, white color, brown color, and ivory colors, and very, very basic kind of decorative frills into it and all. So our chairman said that no, we will, and these were all the normal paint. So we came up with the metallic paints. We came up with decorative one. So we differentiated from the masses, like all other companies like Usha, Orient Khaitan, Polar, Bajaj. These were into the business of fans, but we differentiated with the thing. Similarly, with the cases of the lighting, we never came up into the incandescent or fluorescent lighting. We started with CFL at that point of time, which is called as compact fluorescent lamp. Later on, progressive into the LED, and then into the solar business. So we took a decision according to the market. And let me tell you, after fans, when we were successful into the fans, the dealers, those who were dealing with fans, they said, no, you should come up with appliances. Because we sell the other company products like Philips, Usha appliances we sell. So we said, okay, we'll come into appliances. Then slowly we came up into the storage water heaters, because there are storage water heaters also are being sold. Because a fan is sold in summer, in winter, what the dealer will sell. And let me tell you, we didn't hire any outside consultant. It was only the market which gave us the right feedback. So one advice to all of you is that you should not go only with the advice of the consultant. And these consultants also take the advice from the other people and then sugarcoat things and deliver it to you. Whether it is a successful or not, that is also a test case for you to go and experiment. So one advice to all of you is that please go to market, please interact with the last person who is dealing with the product. Whether it is Hindustan Lever or whether it is LG, the chairman of the company interacts with the last person, those who is the sales demonstrators or the person who is showing the products, and he would ask, what are the challenges which you are facing in our product category and what are the added advantage in the other product category, whether it is Sony or Samsung. He will definitely ask from them, because the middleman. And let me tell you, the failure of Nokia and your BlackBerry, the management was not informed that what is required in the market at that point of time, and that is why they didn't invest into that technology, and they lost the market. At one point of time, Nokia had more than 70-75% of the market share. So product diversification was there. So at this point of time, Havells has got more than 20 product verticals. And when we were successful in electrical, people said that you should come into the white goods. So we invested into Lloyd as a brand. And we came up with the strategy that we should come up into the white goods. White good means air conditioner, TV, refrigerator, and washing machine. So today, even if you see the product vertical of Havells, has got all the product category which a household require for his house to build up and use it. So now we are investing into the brand because people want to see the brand and own the brand rather than only use the brand.
Thank you, sir. From an organization point of view, you've given a goal and how you went about doing that and the primary factors which are involved. Sir, a lot of people, most people gather experience, but don't grow in uncertain times, particularly in uncertain times. So what can an individual do with all that experience gained? Can you give some suggestions?
You see, your personal experience is not going to add any value. And in our organization, we had a called as a morning panchayat. And as I times also say that you should be a good reader also. Your earning is directly proportional to your learning. Even if you remove the L, the earning is there. So I give a piece of advice to all of you that you should read a lot. All good leaders are good readers also, because you can't have your own experience of the things. And in the morning panchayat, one advice to all of you is that please don't use only your brain. Please take advice of 10, 15, 20 people along with you. Every person has got some plus point, some piece of advice who can give it to you. But as a leader, we are shy of asking help or asking question. If you are in a trouble, please openly say that I don't know this topic. I don't know about this. Can you please help me, or can you please advise me? There's nothing, no ego should be attached with you yourself, that you should say that, yes, I am the MD of the company, I am the president of the company, and I know everything, and I will tell you what to do. You should never do it, and always take advice of all of you. And this I learned from Nelson Mandela in one of the Simon Sinek video. You see, Nelson Mandela was asked that how you have become so mature. He says, my father was a leader, tribal leader, and he always said that you should sit in a circle so that nobody should be a leader, and you should give a chance to everyone to speak, and you should not nod your head that I agree with you or I don't agree with you. If you agree with someone, please don't say that I agree with you, and give a chance to all of them. And if the second last person who's speaking, and if you don't agree with him, you should ask another question that I have not understood what you are trying to say. Can you just explain? So that he will try to explain the things in a different way, knowingly well that you are not going to agree with him, but you have still given him a chance. And the advantage of it is that everyone thinks that he has been given a chance to speak out his mind. And then it is your leadership, your wisdom, that you should know what is to be taken, what decision has to be taken at that point of time. I think collective decision, collective knowledge of all the people will make a difference, rather than you only saying that I have decided, now you can discuss.
Excellent, sir. Now, during uncertain times, there are organizations who struggle for business survival. At the same time, because of the change, innovation is also necessary. Now, how should leaders approach this? There are constraints on resources. How do you arrive at what is to be focused on? How do you balance it?
I have already, in my initial talk, said that for any successful business, you don't need money. There are people, those who want to do a startup, they always say that I don't have money. If I have 10, 15 crores, then I'll be successful. First thing for a business successful is that you should have an idea. What is to be done? Today, Google, Apple, all these things, Ola, Uber are an idea, and business people are investing into it, whether they are into profit or loss, but they will ultimately come into the profit. The two important words which I have learned into a business is that trust and relationship. You should, when I say trust is a very difficult thing to have. I know that when Havells came into the business of other product category, even into the fan and lighting, the channel with whom we were dealing, they trusted in us that is a company who will succeed into the thing. For being a successful, you have to only out of 100, you have to have only 15 people for your side, and then people will follow them. So you should have a change of champions. So that few people you should have, those should have trust. And when we used to have a meeting, we should openly say 4-5 people, those who are really trusting us, that we used to say that what is your view. So the trust is there. And the second thing is that trust in the product also. When you are making a product, today 93% of the products which Havells sells basically are manufactured themselves, because we wanted to be sure that the product which you are giving to the consumer is a trustworthy product. And second thing is relationship. In a business, you should always be very, very transparent. You should be transparent in your policy. You should not be over smart. You should not try to hide things. And in today technology times, you should get the things done very fast. Today, when you are into the logistics or supplies or anything and all, the IT is very helpful. So you should be very, very transparent in your dealing. Our chairman used to say that in case if anyone is making a loss, come to me. I will compensate that loss. But none of the dealer came to us for that. He said that we are losing money, because all dealers, those who are into business, they know how to make money. So that relationship or that kind of a clarity or transparency has to be given. So in the businesses also, even if you give some additional discount to one party and to another party, that is only a small time game, not a long time kind of a business. So your transparency has to be there, your honesty has to be there. These all things are basically for trust and relationship, but the keywords are trust and relationship. You should not be the best or the expert. You can't be the best or the expert in any field, but you should be the trustworthy. Anything you are saying, people should trust you that you are speaking right at that point of time.
Thank you, sir. This also addresses some of the other questions that people have, things like midlife, mid-career crisis, etc.
Every 5 years you will have a crisis. Every 5 years. वो 20 से 25 साल में नौकरी का चिंता है, वो उसके बाद 30 से 35 में शादी का चिंता हो जाएगा, फिर बच्चे का चिंता हो जाएगा, फिर बच्चे को स्कूल की पढ़ाई में चिंता हो जाएगा, फिर मकान लेने का चिंता हो जाएगा, फिर बच्चे का एजुकेशन का चिंता हो जाएगा, फिर बच्चे की शादी का चिंता हो जाएगा. तब तक बुढ़ा हो जाएगा, आपकी और मेरी तरह बाल सफेद हो जाएगा.
Thank you, sir. We now come to a question which is related more to higher education and your suggestions on that. Now you got the best foreign universities also invited to come to India. What are your thoughts on what Indian higher education institutions should do to strategize their plans, be innovative, creative, and be as good as some of the best in the world?
Mr. Prasad, actually, Indian education policy was governed by Britishers, and Britishers never wanted us to learn. Their only objective of Indian was that they should know English and they should give answer in yes or no. So we were not allowed to think ourselves and be creative kind of a thing. So in my view, Indian education policy or politicians also wanted the same thing till the last year. And only in the last few years, the education policy has been drafted. But now I think freedom has been given to the students also to have a choice of it. Earlier, engineering was there, doctor was there, and chartered accountant, and then rest was the commerce graduate. So people, those who do engineering, today all engineers are basically, sorry to say, they are all clerks. 60-70% of them are doing the clerical job. They are not doing any engineering job. So doctor, you know how many percentage of Indian doctors are there and all. But what you have said, I know that I have been interactive in some of the universities, that now foreign universities are coming in India. And one bad thing which Indian students are doing is that they go to US or they go to other countries for higher studies. I at times feel very shameful or pity that huge investment on their studies are being taken by those universities or those campuses by giving the assurance of giving the jobs also, and when they go, their parents are left aside. But one good thing is that some of the foreign universities are coming in India, because Indian people are always looking for a tag, any brand. And let me tell you, India in the Forbes list, there is not even a single brand in the first 100 Forbes list, because whether it is Tata or whether it is Reliance, these are not brand, or Airtel, these are not brands. These are only the big companies. when you want to go and buy a camera, Sony, Canon, Nikon are the camera. When you want to go and buy a car, Honda, Toyota, Nissan, Mitsubishi are there. When you want to go and buy air conditioner, National, Panasonic, or Daikin or other companies are there. These are all the brands. But Indian companies, though, they're not even brands. So we are all brand conscious that from where you have done the studies. And when I give the lecture to the institutes like you, I always tell that I have delivered lectures in all the 20 IMs. All 20 IMs I have delivered lectures. But the only the difference with them and you is that is not much of difference. Not in the faculty also, the difference is not there. But it all matters, as I have already said, it doesn't matter what you have. All it matters is what you do with what you have. The bat is same with Sachin Tendulkar and all other company. Only the tag of MRF or Apollo is changed. Otherwise, if you have the skills, you can do the things. One thing which you should tell to your student is that you acquire skills. If you have a skills, you can get. If a doctor is having a skill, he would get. If an advocate is having a skill. Otherwise, there are many doctors. Even if you want to go in for a heart surgery, you will go and check your star rating or the what is the social media speaking about him, about the things. And also your skill should be there. Today also I have quoted that there is a book called as Cows Don't Give Milk, You Have to Extract Drop by Drop. So there is never an income gap in the organization. People are there, those who get 25,000 rupees a month, and there are people those who get 2 crores a month also. Sundar Pichai's salary income is close to around 1,500 crores per annum. And he also always say that in your student, you should teach how to handle failure. And I have been speaking on certain topics that how to handle failure. All my points, which I have given ABC, is basically how to handle failures, how to handle challenges. So handling failure should be taught in a right way rather than handling success. Success handling people do, but handling failure very less is being taught. And in our society also, anybody who, if he fails, we give him a tag of failure, which is not a right kind of a thing.
Fantastic, sir. I think we are at about 7:20. There are some more questions, but at this stage, I'll hand it back to Professor Rao to tackle the other segment of questions.
Thank you, Professor Prasad. Sir, this is very interesting. I've been observing all through your responses. One hallmark of this conversation so far is that you've been able to simplify it very well for us. I think we are exposed to enough of jargon, we are exposed to enough of hardcore bullet points laced with strategies and multiple complexities built into it. But the beauty lies in its simplicity, and that's what you've been able to do that. I'm sure this is because of the long years of experience that you've had with a variety of people and variety of situations that you have dealt with. So for the audience which is around the screen today, this is directly useful. They can pick up 1 or 2 points and go back and implement in their own workspace. The way they build themselves, I think this is going to be extremely useful for them. The way I feel, and I'm sure exactly others also are feeling in similar manner. Sir, I'll start with one question, and the members in the audience can raise their hand, and once I finish a couple of questions, we will have a direct conversation with the leader. So my first question, sir, with your permission, is this. The world in which we are operating is becoming very uncertain, as we see. There are lots of issues due to macro environment, due to changes in the profile of the people within our own country, our own realms. The way we see what it used to be 5 years back is very different today. People are grappling with issues other than work skills. They're grappling with how do they shape their journey, their life, their personal relations, but that has some kind of impact on their work and their behavior as well. Now, among the life fulfillment parameters which you mentioned in terms of ABC, the new set of challenges in this era are emerging technology itself, like generative AI, like ChatGPT, neural networks, so on and so forth. So, is there any predictive uncertainty in the employment opportunities for students who are studying currently? Because they're going to be your employees, they're going to be employees for many other organizations as well. what kind of preparation they should go with when they enter into the world of work, given the fact that they are going to be bombarded with so many technologies, especially the emerging technologies that we will have to deal with.
Sudhakar, I will, the answer would be very long, but I will try to confine similar. And as you said that you have been able to simplify the things, I learned the other day, it is easy to make things difficult, but it is very difficult to make things easy. So for the easy question answer for this is that you see today information is available everywhere. You have Google, you have got AI, you got everything and all. But there are very few people, those who are there to analyze the data and give it to the top management. Everyone is bombarding the information to the senior management, and one level up the information is going. But one advice to all of you, I will tell you, along with the AI and the chat GPT, the scope of the data analyst is required into the organization, because analyzing the data and giving it to the top MD or the CMD, that what is the action plan to be taken along with the data. Only data is not going to help you out. Analyzing the data, analytical skills, and advising on those analytical skills, giving some proposal that these are the things which should be done and these are the things which should not be done, should be there. And I would also advise all the students that you should invest into the skill, that whichever skill they are there. I'm not saying that only go into the coding or only go. If you're good into the today you have got a choice. If you're good into direction, go into that. If you're good into acting, go into that. If you're good in music, go into that. Every person has got some hidden talent into him, and one should see into it that what hidden talent he want to focus on it. Everyone, if you want to do engineering or medical science and all, won't make kind of a thing. You should see to it. You should all. That is why I say you should have a mentor, advise, guide, kind of a thing, who can see you from an outer perspective and can tell you that this is the field in which you should excel. Let me just give you the example of I've got two sons. One is into the marketing and sales. He has done MBA from Narsimunji. The other is into computer science and he's into coding. He's into the IT business and he's into the coding. So the advantage of coding is that today the requirement of the coding is very much, and you get the better CTC into that kind of a field rather than into the general marketing and sales kind of a field. So I will advise people to excel into the skills which you have into it. Don't copy anyone, that if someone is going there, then you should also go there.
Excellent, sir. I think this is also relatable because we come across these things and stay at crossroads while deciding for our careers. Most of the times, we would have seen the burden of peer pressure, because many people are going in one direction. Therefore, your parents also want to do that. Your relatives also want you to do that. And therefore, it is difficult for you to say no to that and focus on your hidden talents. See,
actually, we have a wrong parenting also. That all parents want their children to become a doctor or an engineer or a chartered accountant. That is not the kind of a thing. We don't allow them to go in for a photography or any other kind of a business and all. But I think that should not be the case. And the other thing is that you should do a course correction also. In case if you don't get a job initially of your taste, in the initial 4 or 5 years, you should do the course correction. The direction should be changed within the stipulated time, rather than, if I give an example, that if a aircraft is going from New Delhi to New York, and in the first year the pilot by mistake have not chosen the right direction, then in the first 1 hour he can change the direction, but if in the 16th hour if he want to change the direction, he would land up in Toronto, not in New York. So the course correction has to be done. It is not that that you will get the things initially after doing your MBA, or if you're doing your graduation. Initially, you will not get the things of your choice, but you should analyze that what is your strength and focus on that. Let me tell you, my strength was not engineering. My strength was people management and communications. I focused on that. I became the president. There were many other candidates for competing with me. But leading a team of 700, I led a team of 7,000 people, not 700, because 700 was within my own product category, but a larger field of thing was 7,000. So even if you have to address the 7,000 people, you should know the content, what the audience want to speak now. Listen.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, yes. But one takeaway is that even if you're not able to find job in the relevant area that you're working on or are actually focused on, I'm sure the course correction, a timely course correction is
Yes,
required.
yes.
And that's what people who are agile and alert will always do. The other thing is when you go to the work in order to excel, when everyone is armed with the data and information, what do you do with the data is extremely important. It again fits into your own principle of what do you do with what you have. You have information, everybody has information, but for the consumption of top management, in other words, how do you look at the data? How do you analyze it? How do you draw business insights? And how do you make recommendations for change or for action? I think that's where it differentiates you from the rest. And that's a very, very important
But let
skill.
me tell you, when we used to hire fresh MBA graduates, we used to hire from IMs also. We used to hire from your kind of a college. We used to hire from the C category also college. But after 6 months, we forget that which boy has come from which college. It all depends upon what is his performance after the 6 months. We forget that whether he's an IM or whether he is from ICFAI or whether he is from Amity or whether he is from any other college. It's all depends upon your performance, your involvement into the business, your ownership into the job, rather than only having a tag of your past education qualification.
Yeah, your institute will come to your rescue only to some extent, but not throughout your career.
Initially for getting a job only, that's all.
Yes, but I'm happy to know that most of our students who joined under your leadership within Havells India have continued to stay for a longer time, and some of them are even working now.
I am
That's
so about it.
that's
And
that's a great.
I sent your post was into the LinkedIn, so I have reposted it, and many of my followers they were asking me, sir, it is very good that we are connected with this institute, and you are today speaking to the fraternity of this college.
Great, sir. Great. I think the mindset of these emerging leaders, these young leaders, is shaped by you, and some foundation probably we would have laid at the time of their graduation during their time with us. So I think both are required, and in the longer run, if they are shaped by leaders like you, it will be extremely useful. They become ready for the country, and they'll be ready to take the country to the next level all the time. Making Indian industry competitive is our objective, and through leaders like you and your own trust and faith in resources like this, I'm sure we'll continue to do that. Thank you, sir. We'll go to the next question, and the next question is very simple. It is also difficult to make questions simple. So the question is, sir, you would have seen several generations of candidates who come into your organization for different roles over the last several years that you have been with your profession. In the latest situation, we find that tougher times also affect employees in more ways than one. It is not just about the functional skills, but uncertain times affect them psychologically. So, what are the maybe top 2-3 things, trends that you have noticed? How these uncertain terms are affecting, and how do we come out of this?
One thing which I have seen in my 4 decades of experience is that earlier in the organization we used to have a family kind of an atmosphere. But in the last 5 years, what I have seen is that the leaders, those who are now leading the teams, they are not taking the ownership of their team. Let me tell you an example if the chairman or the MD is not happy with one of my team members, and if he says that no, yeah, he is not performing well, and one of the presentation and one of the his appraisal, he sees that he's not performing, and he tell no, you ask him to go. But in our times, we used to always say, so give us some 3-6 months time. I'll mentor him. I'll advise him. I'll guide him, and I'll see to him and in which area he's lacking, and give us some time. And I used to do it. So in the simpler way, हम उसकी पीठ के नीचे हाथ रखते थे, पीठ लगने नहीं देते थे खिलाड़ी की जो.
Okay.
But in today's time, after COVID, also what I have seen is that everyone is become more selfish. Everyone has got a fear into his mind that my job is at stake. So let me protect my job. Hell with my team members, or hell with the other kind of a thing. So that kind of a fear is there. In uncertainty there. Uncertainty after COVID was there. uncertainty of losing the job was there. And once these all big companies, they start laying off the people, all small companies also get a feel of it that we also can take a decision rather than becoming shameful that why should we take a decision. So that kind of a thing is there. But for leading a team, I'll give you 3 words which are very, very important. Are basically, you should have a system, create a culture to follow, and create a tradition to follow. You see, TCS is a very good example of creating a system that can I live by, or creating a culture of the organization that you are all safe, and having a tradition to follow. You see, you have to have some role model. Like in Gita, when Arjun was given the Shiksha by Lord Krishna, he was basically successful at the last stage, and people till today follow Gita because he was successful. So you have to make certain good case studies of leaders or followers, and people don't follow leaders, they follow followers. You have to make followers. And one added advantage with me as a leadership was that I made a very good team under me who was doing a job, and I was relaxed, and I was spending time that what to do next, what to think of new things rather than focusing on what to do on a daily basis. So one advice to all students, all people that should be there, that you should have been very, very creative in thinking. Second thing is that make a good team that who can do your job better than you, and always try to have confidence in your team that they can do better than you, and make them grow along with you rather than you grow and they don't grow.
Excellent, sir. These are very, very practical, and these are actually doable stuff. If somebody who comes with 4 decades of experience is sharing this, I'm sure this can be definitely tried. Good leaders, what you're saying is that good leaders, true leaders, always develop leaders. Good leaders produce more leaders, and
followers.
And yeah, they become leaders.
The followers become leaders. Followers become leaders later on.
Exactly, and when they are led to being better than yourself, I mean, that is the culture, that is the tradition that you are leaving behind.
I am happy that the legacy which we have left today, my team members are maintaining that. Had not been the case, people would have said, "Yaar, company baith gayi, ye ho gaya, wo ho gaya." That it doesn't. You don't feel good that where you have spent more than 20 years. Today things are not in the right shape. So we have developed the team who is capable of handling the show.
Excellent, excellent. I think long after we leave the domain, long after we leave the workspace, if we are remembered for our culture, our practices and systems, I think that's the mark of your success also in one way. I think that's what all leaders will have to aspire to be. Thank you so much, sir. I think you put it very succinctly. I'll now invite Chitra to ask her question. Over to you, Chitra, and after that, Malvika Purkhasta.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, just a very, I think it's a very simple question again. I'm a teacher, and somehow at occasions I feel very uncomfortable to pacify the students whenever some change is to be brought on. And I know these students, they really resist to change. So how to tackle this type of situation, or what sort of skills are required so that things could be changed in a very positive manner?
Chitra, now my wife also is a teacher, and I have been also doing teaching job. Doing this motivational seminar also is basically a teaching job, and I love to do it. Let me tell you, today information is available with all the students. So today, earlier teaching was giving an information to the students. Today information is available. So this teaching job also has to be made more interactive, more storytelling, more example. Like in my every topic or every 5 minutes, I normally in my 1 hour lecture I give 5 to 6 stories also. So you have to relate with the stories, because people are all interested in learning, listening to the stories. You see, today if the engineering graduate might not know about the trigonometry, but he knows the stories which were told by the dadima or the nanima. the Hare and Tortoise store or the Thirsty Crow stories, all stories we relate, whichever country we go. So it should be made more interactive, more storytelling, more case study rather than giving the information, because information is available and storytelling is a kind of a thing which I think that people remember for a longer period of time, and students would love to sit in your class interacting with you rather than only giving the lecture and telling them to change. And for change also, you have to lead by example. Like the way I have told, Mahatma Gandhi till the age of 45 was there into the South Africa. So then the day he realized that no, the thing has hit my head or heart, then only you have to. Unless you relate the things with stories with their heart, they will not change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. That's a fantastic thing. So to focus on storytelling and case study approach. ICFAI Business School and ICFAI Universities, we follow case study approach, and very recently we have been featured and recognized as the second biggest case developer in the world after Harvard. Earlier, INSEAD was ahead of us, and now we have overtaken. This is focus on our humble contribution for over 20 years now to develop the case method. And if you don't simulate the business situations and real situations in the classroom, how will they learn? No amount of theory will help. So we go by that. I think with the presence of leaders like you in the classroom and also with the case studies that we teach, I'm sure the younger generation is going to learn quite a bit and stay focused in reality and be ready for the uncertain times that we are living in currently. Thank you, sir. I will request Dr. Malavika to raise a question.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
A small correction, I am yet to be a doctor, in fact. I'm still a research scholar. Anyways, so your talk was very nice. In fact, it was so lucidly explained, the ABC. In fact, I would have loved to hear up to the I. You said you have the list up to I, alphabet I. So anyhow, now the question that I want to ask you, in fact, it crept to my mind when you were explaining about the Havells story, that it was mostly the insights used to gather from your channel partners and from people within the organization rather than depending solely on the consultants about the type of new innovations and all. So basically my question is, in today's time, when we find that almost every industry, every business has become so very vulnerable to all the technological breakthroughs happening around. So do you think that the startup companies, because youngsters are being highly encouraged to start their businesses also, do you think, in your opinion, of course, that they should be market-driven companies or market-driving companies, taking into account the current changing times?
One thing which has to be taught to all this startup is that the 95% of the startup would fail. Failure has to be taught to them. Only 5% of the startup would succeed. And any startup, I am an advisor to a few of the startups also. I tell them that you should keep your basics right. Go to the market, go to the end customer, understand what is the need, concern of the consumer basically. Even if you see Ola and Uber, we had a concern of hiring a taxi. So today it is available in the, you see your today Blinkit or the other things which delivers, the Swiggy delivers at your doorstep. That was a problem of getting. So the startup also should see to it, the idea should be right rather than the money. The concern should be on the idea that what is the pain area of the customer, because customer is going to give you the money if you remove the pain. Why do we go to a doctor to remove our pain? So that pain area has to be understood rather than seeing it to it that no, we want to do a startup, we want to, हम चाय बनाएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे. उसका कुछ नहीं है. पहले आप ये देखो कि कस्टमर का पेन एरिया कौन सा है. वो अगर पेन एरिया है तो वो सक्सेसफुल होगा स्टार्टअप, अदरवाइज वो स्टार्टअप जो है वो, और स्टार्टअप में भी ये देखना पड़ेगा कि 3-4-5 बार आप फेल हो गए, देन वो फेल होने की सस्टेनेबिलिटी की कैपेसिटी होनी चाहिए, तभी वो स्टार्टअप में जाए, अदरवाइज वो कोई नौकरी ढूंढ लेगा तो ज्यादा अच्छा.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Got it. So the answer, I feel, the takeaway is that they should not blindly join the bandwagon. They should find the pain points of the customer and try to address those pain points. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If anybody else is willing to ask a question, we'll take that. And before that, sir, I have one question. The uncertain times are in different formats we deal with. One such thing is technology. The other one is the behaviors of the new generation itself because of the onslaught of consumer technology. Third one is the global uncertainty in terms of financial meltdown, like this. But there is one more dimension to this uncertain times and or tougher times. These tougher times could be with respect to government as well, because we are large organizations. Wherever we operate, we cannot be below the radar in the sense that we are noticeable all the time. And what measures any company should take to sustain a business during the tougher times with government? You would have probably come across in your career. One or two suggestions in this area would be useful.
You see, government is always there to support you. If you go to Singapore, if you go to China, the government is going to support you. But in here also, the government is now very, very proactive. There are some PLI schemes also, production link incentives also, PLI also is there and all. The one thing which I would like to advise all of you is that always do an ethical business. Please don't try to do any unethical business, because today or tomorrow you would get caught. And anything, if you want to hide from government or from industry or from your customer, you are going to make a fool of yourself. So we give advice to our even trade channel partners, those who do business in, those who try to evade in the GST or try to do excise or any other things and all. We always tell them it is up to the level of 100 crores you can do the business. But if you want to grow the business above 100 crores, you have to be very, very ethical. So government will try, and if you give a right advice to the government, and in today's scenario, they are going to listen to it. It all depends how much time they will take to implement those suggestions. That is the only thing. But if you are focused on your customer, I don't think so government is required into it. Whether it is having a reducing of a GST today, you pay 28% of the GST also on a customer. You pay income tax also to the tune of 40%. So even if you are earning 1 crore, 40 lakhs is going into the income tax. When you are buying anything, you are paying another 28%. So that taxes are there. So I think you should be fair enough with all the dealers, and you should not having any fear of it. You can grow only by having values and principle rather than taking shortcuts.
Stay true to your values. Stay ethical.
Values, principles should be adhered
to all the time. I think that's a fantastic advice. I think working with government during tough times has got only one mantra to deal by, and that is to be very, very transparent and play by the rules of the game. I think that's the one. So at this stage, sir, we are going to conclude. I'll request Professor Prasad also to join. I want to also bring in one important parameter here. That is, as you mentioned, learning is continuous for all of us. You have also advised us to read a book as much as you want to grow. Please acquire knowledge, open your mind horizons, keep reading new books. That's a fantastic, reset. We need to read, reset your life. When you have shown that book, either you're there or the book is there. We want both. So we will probably request, it's available on Google, it's available on Amazon. The link is also available with me. I can share with all the audience to look at the book and learn from. More importantly, this learning and teaching is also going to be continuous. As a leader, you will have to train, you will have to help people cross certain hurdles and work as a role model. So that is also part of teaching or mentoring, whatever you call it. If learning and teaching is continuous, I want the views of Professor Prasad also. He has held large assignments within ICFAI and even before that. I'm sure he has dealt with thousands of people, and based on his rich experience also we can learn. What are the challenges for this learning teaching construct in the workspace? What are the possible challenges and how we can overcome that? I think we'll hear from Professor Prasad, and then we will seek Mr. Anil Bhasin's views as well after that. Yeah, Professor Prasad.
I think one should be very cognizant of what your stakeholder wants. That could be the customer, or if you're working in a more defined situation, it could be your boss or your department. And you should always try to be a problem solver, because being status quo doesn't need an MBA or any great degree. But if you really want to contribute to the organization, you should be in the state where you constantly ask questions on what can be done better, best. What are the issues and what can be done about it? And I think from the experience that the individual has who's doing the continuous learning, as well as the environment in which they are, as well as other industries, much of it is available online. It may not be in the same industry. Sometimes it can be from other industries. So if one is able to put together a proposal, a solution, after one has done one's homework on it, I think that's a small way to begin for continuous learning. And if you keep doing all these small bits of learning and you do it every day, and you're relentlessly on it, and you're not focused just on day-to-day operations, I think that's the way that good MBAs should progress. Of course, some part of their time may go into operations, but as Vijay Govindarajan says, that what is the future basket and what am I doing for the future basket? I think even for one's own process and operation, one has to do that. In a simple way, this is what programs should address. Educational programs, degree programs, certificate programs, that is what they should address. And in another way, this is what we need to do at work also.
Amazing, amazing. I think being a problem solver, apart from the operational burden that you have, and small bits of solutions that you keep trying, like an expanded atomic habits that one needs to pursue. In the online MBA program that you have architected, how is this built in, Professor Prasad?
See, typically MBA programs have courses, since there are academic credits. But then the course is a journey towards building a solution. Sometimes it's part of the solution. Sometimes it can be the full solution, depending on what one is handling. So one must be able to use a course that one is going through to open up one's mind, reflect on the problems that one has at work or potentially at work if one is young, and then see how I can contribute. Because if you look at any industry, there are the top 2-3 players and then there are the others, and not all are employed with the top 3. But those who work with the others also can understand what these others are doing. And what is it that I can do with our own, whether it is a process or a service or a product or a department or even larger, the full SVU or a company. I think there's enough suggestions to be given, but often we are not involved in doing that. So if we have to project the solutions and validate themselves ourselves, our mind will start thinking in that way. From an idea to implementation, it'll start thinking. And if that is tossed and 3-4 people question it and then give points, I think over a period of many courses, you will be able to build up full solutions. So MBA, basically, you have to have comprehensive solutions at the end of the day. So you should be able to tackle individual issues, but you should also be able to tackle the full business issue. So that is taken care of in the course, and that's where we give more emphasis. And that's where we find that those who are brighter, those who want to do something and are not looking at it as a certificate. Unfortunately, in India today, a lot of students still look at the MBA as a certificate, and something will happen after they get the certificate, which is nowhere near the case. No, anybody who employs them wants to see something bright coming up and will differentiate them accordingly. So we provide that opportunity in every course and in an integrated solution, which is a practicum at the end of it. And I think that's the way to go. We found that it is working.
Great, it is working. I think collaborative approach, providing solutions by asking queries as much as possible with an orientation of problem solving. I think these are some of the points that will make the course. Course is now used as a tool to actually unearth this need within you to solve certain problems related to your own domain or the organization where you're coming from. I think it's a fantastic approach. Sir, now we will request Mr. Anil. Sir, you have heard some of the points that have come up. Eventually, our success is determined by the balance that we can strike between what we have been able to achieve and what we have not been able to achieve. And some people can tread on that carefully in a balanced manner, and most of the people do not. So energies go away in the fact that I have not been able to achieve for whatever be the reason. But managing that failure in the corporate life, in the work life, is actually asking for a heavier toll these days. And therefore, one has lost the spin. So some suggestions from you so that all of us can get benefited. And that is the last question that I have for this conversation.
One thing is that Steve Jobs said that do what you like, but love what you do. First thing is that you should know what you like. And then whatever things you like, you should love that things and put in your passion into it and all. One good example I learned from Rajiv Bajaj, who is the chairman of now Bajaj Auto. He said, I had my coach who was in 20 years back, and he was a young engineer. He was into the factory. And he said, he asked me one question, what is your job? He says, I am VP. He says, this is your designation, not your job. He says, I do develop a motorcycle. So he says, you are a design engineer. No, he says, I am responsible for the sales of. So he said, you are a sales manager. So he says, what is your job? He says, in India, the leaders don't do a job. You see, a chef does it with hand, cricketers plays, musician plays, surgeon does the things with hand. But we as the leaders only talk. We as the teachers only talk. So one thing which he told is that you should always look at improvement. Improve on a daily basis. You should create an environment, an atmosphere to empower people, to motivate them on every day to improve themselves. And once he did this, second day, his same coach asked, what you have done? He says, I am done improvement. So he says, what you have done? He says, I have not done anything. So he said, if you have not taken any action, so what improvement you will do? So the second word is that in India, people think that Ganesha only does things. We only have to pray for Ganesha. So second thing is that you have to take action. If you don't take any action and you only pray for it, nothing is going to happen. So I think these two words are very, very important, that you have to improve on a daily basis and you have to take proper action on a daily basis to being a successful in your professional career.
Amazing, sir. Amazing pearls of wisdom. These sessions are called WiseViews, and so befittingly you have shared, drawn from your extensive experience being in the front line. Actually, you are a leader who has led from the front, handling situations, handling peoples, handling tougher situations, most probably, and in different locations. I think with that vastness has emerged something extremely useful for us who are around the screen this evening. Thank you so much. And
before we conclude, I will speak for a few Hindi lines. One is to handle failure. वो कहते हैं हादसों के शहर में हादसों से डरता है. हादसा मीन्स एनी इंसिडेंट. हादसों के शहर में हादसों से डरता है. मिट्टी का खिलौना है, फना होने से डरता है. फना मीन्स टूटने से डरता है. हादसों के शहर में हादसों से डरता है. मिट्टी का खिलौना है, फना होने से डरता है. मेरे दिल के कोने में एक मासूम सा बच्चा, बड़ों की देखिए दुनिया बड़ा होने से डरता है. आई थिंक हमारा वो जो बच्चा है ना, उसको बच्चा रहने देना चाहिए. ऑलवेज क्यूरियोसिटी रहनी चाहिए कोई ना कोई क्वेश्चन पूछने के लिए. एंड लास्टली फ्यू लाइंस ऑफ हिंदी. वो कहते हैं, जिंदगी सभी के लिए एक हसीन किताब है. जिंदगी सभी के लिए एक हसीन किताब है. फर्क सिर्फ इतना है कि कोई हर पन्ने को दिल से पढ़ रहा है और कोई किसी का दिल रखने के लिए पन्ने पलट रहा है. हर पल में प्यार है, हर लम्हे में खुशी है. जी लो तो जिंदगी और खो दो तो यादें हैं. तो हर किसी के जिंदगी हर किसी के लिए एक हसीन किताब है. इट इज लाइक ए बुक. You have to read the next page every day. You can't go back and read the previous page. It's not going to change anything.
Very, very useful, sir. Extremely useful. You have articulated in Hindi also amazingly. I mean, no wonder you are Hindi speaking, and I'm sure there are many around the screen who are Hindi speaking and they can understand and relate extremely well.
Everyone understand national anthem, sir.
We can understand everything. जो बात दिल से कही जाती है उसको समझने में बहुत तकलीफ नहीं होगी.
नहीं होती है, सर, नहीं होती.
So we can understand everything if you have the interest. And as you said very nicely, keep the child in you alive so that the curiosity is always there. You keep asking questions, you learn more and better yourself. It goes back to your own dictum. For every 5 years, you have to reinvent yourself, find a better self. I think it started there. The ABCs are amazingly good, sir. The attitude, acceptance and adaptation, self-belief, behavior and balance. And of course, in the C, the change, communication and connect. I think this is a very, very defining set of principles that you have talked about life, but it is applicable across work. It is applicable across many, many situations. One needs to have that patience to delve into it with some creativity, then it is applicable everywhere. So it's like a template. So fantastic. And another important point is what you do with what you have. Again, repeatedly, this is coming to my mind. I think that is also going to help all of us. Difficulties are always going to be there. There is some difficulty here, some difficulty there, but the leadership quotient in you will only help you cross that difficulty, provided you keep your mentors, provided you have the openness to ask questions whenever there is a difficult situation around you. Irrespective of your designation, irrespective of your situation, I think we can seek suggestions and solutions from people around us. Earning is directly proportional to your learning, because earning in other words is learning, and that learning teaching construct also we discussed at length. These are everywhere kind of requirements for us. Focusing on hidden talents and doing the course correction at the right point in time. I think these systems will definitely help us. Focusing on a system, building a culture, and also leaving behind a tradition so that you produce leaders and aspire that people who are working with you will one day become better than yourself. And that is how one can have a long-lasting leadership imprint on any organization that we work. And long beyond we leave, it will stay and the organization will continue to do. In your case, your teams are doing extremely well. Havells is doing amazingly well. And a large part of that contribution goes to you, and your contribution will always be remembered. And thank you so much for shaping the younger generation across the 4 decades that you worked, and being a role model for them as a beacon of leader. I'm sure you will continue to visit many business schools and many institutions and across the country. I'm sure this will be the most sought after thing. Do what you like and love what you do, and improve on a daily basis, and also not just wish for it, not just pray for it, but actually take some action. So throughout your conversation, you mentioned that taking action is important, not just having a good attitude or a positive attitude. Unless and until you have some kind of actionable plan and you actually get down and do something, it will not help you. Fantastic conversation. We couldn't have asked for something better than this. I want to thank you for sparing your time, your energy and expertise in creating this wonderful conversation, which is highly useful for all of us. We will come back with a summary and we'll share with you. And once you approve, we'll host it on our website. And we'll share with all the audience who have missed today to attend. They'll come back and probably learn from it. So we'll attempt a summary and share with you before making it live or making it public. At the same time, I want to thank Professor Arun Saini, our Dean of ICFAI Tech Jaipur, for providing this connect. He has a habit of identifying very good people. He himself is a very good person. That's why he identifies good leaders. I want to thank him and the entire team at ICFAI Tech Jaipur for helping us, and I wish they continue to do that in the weeks to come. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We will see you next Friday at 6:30 p.m. on December 8th with yet another leader. And till then, keep learning about the Reset Your Life book. You can Google it. You can actually find it on Amazon, and there are some reviews available. And learning more and learning a little bit more every single day is going to be helping us. So till we meet again on December 8th, I wish you happy learning and happy teaching.